Hi guys, Doug here with a new video, and I have fantastic news. We have a Battleground solo queue kind of preview on how they're going to go for the design. That's something that I actually wish they did it for Solo Shuffle, but I think they are going to focus on this, but hopefully they're going to talk about Solo Shuffle as well. I'm going to first and foremost going to start with the benefits about it. People are going to say that the player base is going to get sharded, so people are going to go to 2v2, 3v3, even if RBGs are still alive and well, I guess. They're going to do RBGs, or they're going to do solo shuffle, or they're going to do the Battleground Blitz, solo queue, duo queue kind of gameplay. And I'm going to say that, yes, it will shard, but I think it's for the better. Again, you have, because it's 8 versus 8, 6v6, it's 6 DPS or 5 DPS in one tank. Will be on this game mode, so it will effectively just remove 12 DPSers from the solo shuffle pool. So if they're like queuing for solo shuffle as well, they're going to go and get rid of, and the people that are actually queuing for solo shuffle and also for the blitz will be actually having faster queues. And of course, you have the healer problem, but I think for Battlegrounds, healers are a bit more popular because you have more ways to actually be influential, but also you can do DPS, you can cyclone, you can CC, you can do whatever you want and not be as punished as, let's say, a solo shuffle where if you want to go for a cyclone and your DPS is getting nuked, yeah, that's kind of bad because you're going to lose a round for that. While someone that is dying because you went for a cyclone that is actually paying off at the end, that's not going to be the end of the BG. But I'm going to talk about the preview right now. Our first venture into solo-rated PvP in World of Warcraft was Solo Shuffle, and it was successful. Indeed, it was, and it was a bit too successful. That's why there is a lot of outcry about the MMR system and just in general the queues for the DPSers and how the healers are actually just very hard to grind CR and MMR for it. But it's still a success, guys. Battleground Blitz is an 8 versus 8 solo queue Battleground experience and our first foray into what you could potentially become a solo queue rated Battlegrounds in the future, which I hope it will be in a 0.5 patch or a 0.7. I hope they are not waiting a whole 9 months or like a whole half year to implement that, but we'll have to see. Hopefully they're doing it very fast because I think it will be a huge success and it will revitalize PvP for again, World of Warcraft PvP retail. We learned a lot from Solo Shuffle, informed that gameplay consideration of Battlegrounds in a solo queue environment for this brawl, which will be discussed here. So there are design considerations. We're being happy with how Solo Shuffle lowered the barrier to entry in rated arenas. The biggest obstacle we faced was the low ratio of healers to damage dealers, indeed, which was typically 4 DPSs for every healer waiting in queue, which effectively is times 2 because then you have 8 DPSers for only 4 spots. So it's complicated. It means that every single game, so if a game is 10 minutes, it will be times 2 the waiting time. So before they actually queue, so it will be 20 minutes at average. Of course, it will be sooner depending on whenever you join the queue, or later depending on whenever you join in the queue. So 4 DPSers for 1 healer. This leads to long queue times for damage dealers, but it also leads to decision of actually having 8 versus 8, because if there are 4 DPSers for 1 healer, it means that you will have 8 DPSers for 2 healers. So it will be normally popping way faster for BGs. This leads to long queues for damage dealers. It was an early concern when we first launched Solo Shuffle as a brawl, especially after shifting away from using tanks to be the anchors in Solo Shuffle matches. Indeed, they just removed tanks from the actual healer spot, except for protection paladins. So that was also a reason why the queue times are actually a bit bigger in Solo Shuffle. But I think it's also for the better. I think it's not fun to play with a tank that is not capable of healing. We previously experienced with other formats for Battlegrounds like Deep 6 Brawl in Legion. We felt the team sizes were too small for some of the available maps, especially the larger ones like Arati Basin. And that's pretty much why I suggested to actually modify the maps to be like a single domination zone where it's popping and like going to change places every single time. They kind of introduced that here, but it will be different. Additionally, we want to try some updates to map formats. Indeed, like I said, for example, in domination maps such as Deep Wind Gorge, the role of being a base hitter can result in tension in solo queue environment. Indeed, and they kind of changed that in a better way. So it's going to be exciting. We also think that shorter match lengths would be more fun for solo queue players, bringing more frequent moment-to-moment gameplay and decision making, but also easier times to actually grind MMR and CR because it will be kind of the same duration as a solo shuffle. Battleground Blitz format. Our plan is 8 versus 8 that can be queued, solo, or as a duo, which is I'm actually very excited about if there is a healer in the pair. So it means that if you are duo queuing with a healer, you will have first and foremost faster queues as a DPS, but also you're going to bring a healer friend into the mix. So you're actually like kind of like a recruit a friend for World of Warcraft. It will be recruit a healer to get a faster queue. So it's going to be quite nice. Again, you can maybe change with a friend, like you heal one and I will heal the other one, so we have fast queues at every single time. So I think that's going to be quite nice. I think it's going to be quite a meta, to be honest. If you're playing with your friend and you both are DPSers, but you feel that you're okay to play a healer one match to get faster queues, you can just exchange. Like, I'm going to say my mate, look, play Disc Priest, I'm going to play my Arms Warrior, and the next match I'm going to play my resto druid and you're going to play your destruction warlock, for example, and we're going to have fast queues like that, and it will be easier to grind. I think that will be actually a very good thing, something that we could have done for solo shuffle, to be honest. Whenever you're playing healer, you get like a faster queues as a DPS and vice versa, so you will have more healers actually playing to get faster queues as a DPS and have like a guaranteed token, I would say. It could have been working, but again, people would play the healer and maybe AFK those solo shuffle rounds. But if you're playing as a duo, you're not going to AFK with your duo, right? So it's going to be quite nice. Again, you can also be in duo healer, which would be, again, the fastest queue in your life. But anyways, this is going to be quite insane. I really, really like it. With the goal of 10 to 12 minutes average match length. Team compositions. So that's a huge question I had at the beginning whenever they actually introduced Battleground Blitz. So there will be 8 players with up to 2 healers, so it will be 2 healers, excuse me, I read it wrong, and 5 to 6 damage dealers and 0 to 1 tank. So it means that you will always have at least 5 DPSers and maybe a tank, or 6 DPSers and no tanks. Opposing team will always have the same number of tanks, so that's a good thing. Now the problem is the tanks are not equal. Like a guardian druid is not equal to a protection warrior, so that's going to be tough, except if they are going to give tools to protection warriors, which I hope so. Again, I would like to see them shift tanks away from being tank and go for more of a support kind of DPS that is like not tanky, but like very effective at helping their team. For example, a protection warrior would be like a very big disruptor with a bit of damage, or a guardian druid would be like a very mobile assist CC damage dealer that is going to be not really tanky, but like very annoying to deal with, for example. And you can like find a way for every single tank, right? But matches that do not include tanks will not take place on Capture the Flag map. So if you really want to play a CTF map, CTF means Capture the Flag, you have to play kind of with a tank or as a tank. But it means that, again, I think this can be changed, because I think if DPSers are able to take the flag, what you should do is just remove the stacks. That's the only thing you have to remove, the stacks on the flag. So it is killable, but not like one-shottable if it's a tank. If it's a DPS, while a tank, I can understand why there are stacks, because again, they're more tanky, so they need to be like a stackable nerf whenever you're taking the flag to actually down those tanks. But we'll have to see. Matches made with a tank on each team can take place on any map. I had a suggestion about CTF maps, which would be like, again, fast games and probably more interesting defense and offensive wise, that you only have one flag on the map and you have to kind of bring the flag to the opposing team, like for example American football, where you're trying to reach the goal with your flag and try to stay 10 seconds in a zone, and if they manage to stay 10 seconds it will be a point. I think that would be better, I think, for the game. I think two flags on those maps with 8 versus 8 could work, but I think the coordination is a bit too hazardly annoying to deal with. But we'll have to see. Again, I'm very excited for this game mode. I'm going to play the hell out of it. I'm going to try to make it also for PTR. It's up for the PTR, by the way, so if you want to check that out, you can just launch PTR and you can play it. Now the problem is the queue times on PTR are quite long because not everyone knows that it is on PTR. I'm going to try to organize with my community like some community solo queue RBGs where everyone is going to click, let's go for the RBG, and we're going to get games in, hopefully in the future. Our goal with the increased ratio of healers to damage dealers as well as healers having a dual queue option aims to alleviate potential longer queue times, and I think it really does. Especially the ability to dual queue with a healer will give the opportunity to actually have some control with the queue times, because if you have a friend that is playing healer, or if he plays DPS and he's okay to heal one game and you switch, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think it could be very nice for the queue times in general. If you had like something similar for Soul Shuffle, it could be nice. The problem with Soul Shuffle is it's a very solo centric game mode where you're switching every time your allies, and you may fight your ally, your duo queue, which again is going to give problems with win trading. So but if they can implement something like that for the 3v3 bracket, I think it could be quite nice, but we'll have to see. Map pool and mechanics. Initially, the map pool will be that of the rated Battlegrounds pool, so pretty much every single map from the RBG pool. In Battleground Blitz, there are some general mechanical changes made across all the maps. For example, on maps when you cast to take an objective, the cast time has been reduced from 6 to 4, so it means you can actually pretty much you can sap and then directly take the flag. So rogues are going to be very strong, but also cyclone and then take the flag very easily. You can already do that with cyclone, by the way, but you have to be on the map and clicking on the flag, and you have to click on the flag at the moment where you're cycloning. On domination maps, control points are captured in 30 seconds after being contested, reduced from 1 minute, so it will be again making the game faster. On all maps, players will gain a buff that provides a large increase in mount speed. Again, I have to see how much the movement speed will be, but I think it will be better because again you are 8 versus 8 on bigger maps, so you have to rotate way faster. It means that rotating will be very strong, and you don't want to stay on one point. You really want to be on the move. Again, I think there are specs and classes that are better at defending than others, but again, it depends on the personality of the player, if they are actually able to play defense. But the good thing is they're going to lose control of those points, so it will be always active. But I'm going to talk about it a bit further into the video. But on several maps, there are new power-up runes. So you have Shield of Protection, provides a large absorb shield. You have Into the Shadows, provides a player with stealth and increased movement speed. That's going to be quite nice if you're mounted. Rune of Frequency increases cooldown rates, which is quite nice. Again, it's the same as the Deep Wind Gorge. Shadow Sight provides stealth and invis detection. I can't even speak anymore, guys. I'm so excited. Detection. Oh my god. So stealth and invis detection. So that's quite nice for if you want to take a node and you know there is a rogue there. You can take it and then you go for the nose and try to ambush the rogue. No pun intended. The goal with the changes above is to provide more moment-to-moment decision-making while adapting maps to make sense for 8 players' team sizes, while ensuring the macro strategy that players find to be fun in Battlegrounds is still intact. Indeed, I think there is much to do, and it will be exciting in my opinion. We looked at several factors for each map, including average game length and individual mechanics to changes towards those maps. For example, Eye of the Storm, 4 nodes are available, but only 2 capture out at a time, 1 per side, which awards points, with the middle map being available to capture. For example, Mage Tower or Draining Runes and Fell Reaver Runes or Blood Elf Tower. When the middle flag is captured, previous nodes move to neutral and reset. For example, on this map, you see that the one that are inactive are the Blood Elf Tower and the Mage Tower, and it will change every single time you're going to take the flag. It could change back to Mage Tower, or it will go to Draenei Runes. 2 nodes, 1 per side, reactivate alternating. So that's very cool. So it will change every single time. So you have to rotate. And now there is also a strategy probably if you get like the two areas that you are going to try to keep the flag as long as you can, so you can actually keep those nodes. Points for capturing flag is significantly increased, so you do still want to be in the middle and trying to fight the flag. And when a flag is captured, the existing available nodes will become uncapturable. After 15 seconds, the other set of nodes will be becoming available. So it will be, again, a lot of time to actually rotate, which is good. And then you have Arati Basin and Deep Wind Gorge, 5 capturable nodes. Unfortunately, I would have probably preferred like 2 nodes at all times, like the same as Eye of the Storm, but you're changing every single like time, like every single minute or every 1.5 minutes. You change it from location to location. Increase resource acquisition, so it will be faster. After you capture a node entirely, you control it for 45 seconds, and then it deactivates and can be captured again 5 seconds later. To fully capture a node, you have to complete the 4-second cast and then hold the point for 30 seconds without the enemy team recapturing. So it will make it way better and way more active. Even if your defense, you still have to do something. So I think it's very good. You see, I don't know if you can see with the map. Yeah, so blacksmith 18 seconds, number mill 9 seconds, and then you have gold mine and farm 28 seconds. So it's going to be quite active. I'm very excited about it, to be honest. I think it could be also nice for RBGs, but I think it will be already good if they actually implement that for Blitz. Warsong Gulch and Twin Peaks, the flag carrier debuff Brutal Assault stacks 100% faster. So good luck, DPS that is taking the flag. I wish to actually remove tanks, kinda. Not removing, but like I said, rework it so you can actually take the flag and not have those stacks and you still be able to get downed. But we'll have to see. Maximum game length is set to 12 minutes, so it's going to be quite fast again. Battle for Gilneas will be increased resource acquisition rate, so it's still the same map, but with faster acquisition rate. And Silver Shard Mines and Temple of Kotmugu has no changes because it is already fast-paced, which I do agree. Those Silver Shards and Mines, with 3 nodes, it's going to be quite hard to be spreading, but I guess since it's 8 versus 8, it will be alright. Again, my suggestion was 6 versus 6 or 7 versus 7, but I think currently 8 versus 8, it will be fast-paced. As mentioned above, we are cognizant of the tension that can come from having dedicated defender roles within the Battleground. The gameplay changes for Arati Basin, Deep Wind Gorge, and Eye of the Storm aim to alleviate that tension. And I'm actually like agreeing with that. If I'm playing rogue and I can play like a ghoster or I can play like a node sitter, I think it will be fun. Especially the ghosting strategy will be more paying off than in RPGs, because again, the nodes are, if they are taken, you can retake it or you can just make them swap because of a if you capture the flag, for example, or for example in Arati Basin it will drop every 45 seconds anyways, and you have like 4 seconds time to cast and 30 seconds to defend the node until you get those points. So it will be effectively a very offensive meta, so I'm actually excited about it. Again, I wish I can play that on PTR and show you guys. The queue times were very long, so I kind of abandoned it, but once I can show you guys, I will make a video about it and you will love it. Anyways, if you want to check that out, please subscribe to the channel. Looking ahead, we're approaching the idea in a tempered manner, as adding a new format to PvP is a big commitment. Our intent is to implement this feature as a PvP brawl first, so we can experiment with the format, discover any problems, and consider player feedback. Again, I think the best feedback that you can do is, again, play on PTR, but also showing that you are going to love that game mode by suggesting a few changes. You can suggest like simple changes, for example, domination maps, maybe less nodes. Instead of 5, you have like 3 active nodes and it will change every single time. So it will be a very offensive meta, but we'll have to see. If the format is well received during the brawl, we can dig into additional details on the plan for a rated mode, including rating changes, how the ladder will work, rewards, levers, and additional team matching, such as limiting the number of single specs per team. I think that could be very nice. I don't think it's fun to have like 3 arms warriors in a team. So if that's possible to have, like, I would say just 1 rogue if you have a rogue, or 1 feral if you have a feral, and whatever, it could be quite interesting to play around it. Levers will be very concerning, but if you can punish very hard those levers, they will just simply not leave. So it's going to be quite nice as well. So we will host a PvP Brawl with the Blues event focused on Battlegrounds Blitz on the Guardians of the Dream PTR. Saturday, 16 September, so it will be Friday for you guys in the US. From 0001 to 2 hour CST, so it will be midnight for me. I'm going to still do that because I think it's going to be a unique occasion to showcase the game mode, but also make a video about it, maybe a live stream about it. I will maybe live stream about it, 2 hours. It could be very nice. Keep an eye out, and of course if you're from the US you can play with me, so again that's going to be quite interesting. So if you want to check that out, please do check it out on Wowhead. Keep an eye out for an upcoming post with additional details for the PvP with the Blues event. Please share your thoughts and feedback with us here. We're eager to hear it. I'm going to be honest, I'm very excited about it. I think this kind of saves my 10.2 patch. I rekindled kinda, like the flame in me has been burning again for World of Warcraft PvP retail. I think the gameplay is at all time the best we ever had. The problems for PvP were very much systemic and about MMR and CR and how it is dealt with. But if we can actually change that into, like, let's say another format of PvP where, to be honest, I think PGs are the one thing that we really miss from the classic expansions. If you can make it relevant in current expansion, it will feel like PvP montage video era, where people are going to make montage videos about like BG gameplay, which in my opinion are the more fun ways to watch games. I think in arenas, a montage video, it's quite nice, but it's very tactical. It's very CC-ish. It's very dampening. You can maybe burst sometimes, but it's not as fun to watch that, let's say in BG, where you're going to make a big switch and someone gets deleted from it, for example, or healers are actually more impactful because there is no dampening, rotation, good ghosting, good defending will be rewarded. So again, I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, please let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I might make a video about it in the future, but there are a few pessimists about, like, why would you make a solo queue environment whenever you have RBG? You're going to kill the RBG scene. And to that, I wanted to give a short answer. The RBG scene, if they're dying because of solo queue environment, it means that no one really wanted to play RBG at the first place. And that's just the reality of things. People were forced to play RBGs in pugs to get conquest, to get some sort of vault progression or whatever, but they didn't really want to grind and get CR and MMR. So if those people are actually gone to another bracket to get conquest or vault progression, or let's say they want maybe MMR or CR on that bracket, I think that's for the better of the game. If you want to play team versus team, at least you play versus the ones that are actually very motivated to play those team versus team matches. I think the queue times are going to be drastically bad for RBGs, and I understand that, but I think also the RBG scene is very much sick, and I will make a video about it. I think it will be too long to actually explain it right now, but I'm an RBG fan. I love BGs, I love solo queue in any game possible, and I think this game mode with the solo queue duo queue era of gaming will be the future for World of Warcraft PvP. Social was already the future, this will be even more, and I think you should realize how fun Battlegrounds can be because of this system, but we'll have to see. Again, thank you for watching this video, I really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. We will catch each other probably very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.